Hey everyone, Kyle here. Just wanted to create a quick ads walkthrough for anyone who's brand new to doing ads for the first time, wanting to move over from doing boosted posts to putting ads that actually show up in front of your students in your area, or anyone who's just looking to kind of refresh themselves with getting into running meta business ads. So without further ado, just gonna go ahead and jump straight into this and kind of walk through it. This is going to be more of a beginner's course on it, or just a beginner's walkthrough, opposed to how I would actually do it if I were going to go and do a full setup. But this is going to get you most of the way there without having to worry about any of the real tricky settings or anything that's going to be too over the top. That'd be a little bit harder if you're kind of brand new to this or have never even seen this screen before. So again, just going to go and walk through this. And the first way to kind of start this off is actually just going to be going over to a Facebook page. So like say your school's Facebook page and showing you how to get to this. Once you're in here, you're actually just going to go to, instead of hitting this advertise button, which takes you to a different area, which isn't going to be the best overall, you're going to go into your Meta Business Suite. You're going to go over, as soon as this page loads, into your Ads Manager, and you're going to go over to your campaign. This is going to take you to your ads account for your business page, so you can actually set up ads the right way and run it. Now, if you haven't set up your ads account yet, you may have to go through a different process. It will occasionally prompt you to do it on this page right here. If you don't have anything, it'll ask you to set up an account up, or you'll have to come over to your business page and go under settings, and then go under ads account, and then you would just have to do an add one, and then you'll just create a new account right there. It'll walk you through the steps. Very easy to kind of follow along with that. But if you made it this far and you're here, you're looking to set up ads that are going to only show up in your area. So again, we're going to jump into that. Now, when you do this, this page will either be blank, or you may have one thing in here that may show some of your boosted posts in the past. Sometimes those carry over and get brought over. It depends on how you set those up and which way you set them up previously. But we want to set up a brand new campaign to be able to set up our ads in it. It's important to know that when you do campaigns, there's going to be 3 levels to it. You're going to have your campaign level, which kind of encompasses all your ad settings level and your ad sets. And then under your ad sets are going to be all your ads that are going to work off the settings you set at the ads level. So it sounds confusing, but there's only 3 areas, and you really just want to get to this point where you can kind of put your different images, videos, and copy in there, whereas this is just going to control your actual settings. So anyways, we're going to come over here. We're going to hit the create button, and this is going to be where we start out of. Now, there's a lot of different options in here. The only thing you need to worry about is going to be this leads section, mainly because this is going to be what actually tells Facebook you want to bring in people who would want to get signed up for your classes in your area. If you do awareness, it's just going to put in front of people who they think would want to see the post. If you do traffic, it's going to be people who would click on it, but not necessarily get signed up. Same thing with engagement, people who would click on it and like it, but they wouldn't actually have the intent of getting signed up. Leads is telling Facebook like, hey, I only want to put this in front of people that are going to be interested in getting signed up for classes, and they will know who's going to be the best fit for that based on the data they have on individuals on Facebook and who have already visited your page, and a bunch of other factors that go into it. We could do a whole other video just kind of walking through all those different factors. The main point is you want to be doing leads. Now, for anyone of you doing apparel and things like that, you can do sale function every once in a while. That'll be good for that. Same idea. You're getting in front of people who want to buy stuff opposed to getting signed up for classes. But again, most of you are going to be in this leads section. So once you do that, you just hit continue. And now if we were doing the full-on setup, or if this was going to be one of my campaigns, I would do a manual leads campaign just because there's a lot more settings you can interact with. But for the sake of this and just getting you up there for your first account, and because this has actually gotten a lot better in the last year, I would normally never recommend this one, but it's getting a lot better, and I think about 2 or 3 years is going to be your only option. You just go with the recommended settings because it's going to streamline a lot of things for you. Now, once you're in here, again, we're going to have those 3 levels. We have the campaign level, we have the ad set level, and we have the ads level. Again, this is going to be where your ad is actually created. You can kind of see it's starting to put that together for me automatically, but we're going to start at the campaign level. Now here, all you have to do is name it. There's no other settings you need to really play around with in here, so we're just going to name this our test campaign. I'm just going to call it the second one because it already came in here and did this once, but our audio got messed up, so we're just going to keep going here. Now we're going to drop down into the ad set level. Now this is the important one. If you ever seen me talk about the main reason why you want to do ads, those settings are in here. And specifically because there's a setting down here that allows us to pick the radius on which our ads show around the school. So say you want to put it only in front of people who can get signed up for classes, you're only going to do that in front of the people that are within distance of driving to the school every day and actually getting in there. But I'll get to that setting here in a second. First, it's going to ask you how you want to convert people. So how you're going to convert those people once they click on your ad to actually getting in contact with you and eventually getting into their first class, there's really only two ways I would go about this, and that would either be through instant forms, which is keeping it on Facebook. You're going to create a little miniature survey where it's going to ask you for like name, number, email address, and you can add whatever other questions on there you want, and it keeps it within Facebook and tracks it within there, which can work out really good. That's a good option if you have a software to pull that information out. So say Gym Desk with Zapier, Kicksite with Zapier, so that's two softwares at once, or something better like Go High Level, where it automatically just pulls it out of there, takes information, and then starts a text conversation or an email conversation with the lead the second they submit the information. But any of those will work out good. Now, if you already have a website set up and like you have a form on your home page to send people through, you can do that as well. And you just send them through your website the same way everyone would come in. The only problem with that is you're going to need to set up your metapixel to send data back to Facebook or Instagram to be able to tell them who actually became a lead off of your ads. The main reason you want to do that is because the more data you send back to Facebook, the better they're going to get at putting your ads in front of the right people, or similar to the people who have already previously signed up. And that's going to lower your cost, increase the amount of chance that they actually get signed up, so increase your conversion rate, and a lot of good other things. So it gets better with time the more data you send back and forth. Now, if you're just getting into this and you just want to run ads in general, especially if you're in a small area, you can probably get away with not, but it's definitely recommended to do that and get that set up. I'll make a separate video setting those up. You can also run Messenger, but again, I don't think that's the best option. It doesn't record data very well. It doesn't keep getting better, and it kind of also limits to what people are kind of coming through. So if you're not checking your Messenger all the time, or if you don't have it set up to do so, it's not going to work out the best. And when you run Messenger, it tends to put your ads in front of other people anyways, just because it's trying to get people to click on that message. So I would go with instant forms or website in this area specifically. Now, scrolling down with this, there's going to be some other settings in here, and that's going to be around your daily budget. Daily budget is going to be how much it's willing to spend in front of it to put your ads in front of people all day. This will typically be a range, so if you put $20 in here, it can go all the way up to a maximum of like 25. Typically, it says 35 down there. It typically doesn't go above it too high, and the way it kind of evens out is like, so hey, one day it spends 25, the next day it may only spend 10, and just kind of even out and keep it at a good level across the board. And on top of that, with this ad budget too, it's going to divide that cost of this at this level between all the ads you have listed underneath this ad set. So say you're running 5 ads underneath this ad set, it's not going to spend $20 per ad. It's just going to spend $20 divide that $20 up between all the ads. And typically you'll try to start putting the money towards the one that's performing best overall for you. So there's a lot of kind of AI data in there that's going to track it and then try to make the best decision based on that. Typically, $20 isn't a bad mark. If you are really low budget and you want to run $10 a day, that's fine too. $10 is probably the minimum I would run. If you're not running at least that, it's not as worth it to be running ads at that point. I think there's stuff you could be putting money towards if you don't want to put that much money into it. That's going to do better for you. And typically, you're going to see about a $10 to a $30 lead cost. So that's about how much you're going to pay to get someone's information for the chance that they become a member, and typically that's on that end. You can see leads as low as $2 and $3, but that's typically if you've been running ads for a long time, or if you're in a area where there's not a lot of competition and there's a lot of volume of people. So just a heads up on that one. And then, so it's important to set that. Typically, again, going to set that at 10 to 20, somewhere in that range. We have to run as high as $50 a day. It just depends on your area and how much you're getting out of it. With your start and end date, you don't need to do a whole lot with it. I typically don't run an end date. I typically just come in and turn the ad off when I don't want it to be running anymore, because if you set an end date, it tries to kind of budget out and won't perform as well. Now, the other main settings on here, and the main one why you want to be running ads, is actually under this location setting right here, which is kind of tucked away. The main reason you want to do that is because you can actually take your website or your address and plug it in here, so it's only showing your ads in front of people in this area, or someone that can get signed up close to it. So if I take our school's website and I want to get it in front of this area, it'll show me, hey, I see that, and then I can actually control the radius. So if I want to show it in front of people who are within 10 miles away, we typically do 20 miles away, and that covers a big area. And it's only going to show people that are living in this area the ads. So that way it's only showing up in front of people that can get signed up for classes. So one of the most important things about being in here. So super important to go with that. There are a lot of other targeting settings that you can kind of go into as far as like people's interest, as far as people's income, as far as people's kind of socioeconomic status, all those different things you want to go in there with. You can make targets adjusting on those things, but it's not as worth it unless you're in a highly populated area. And the way to kind of show that is like you can see over here on this right side, that's going to show us our estimated audience size, the amount of people that are in this area. We have somewhere between 119,000, 140,000. We're in a college town, so it does fluctuate like that. But that's not a huge amount of people when you think about it, because you're only going to be getting 1% of those people to really see your ads each day and actually interact with them. So you want to be putting in front of as many people there. If you start throwing those other interests on there and those extra targeting settings on there, it's going to reduce the amount of people it shows it to and reduce the chance you actually get someone in there. The only time I would say that it's worth it to start kind of adding those extra targeting settings in there is going to be when you're seeing this number be over 500,000. So if you're in a super densely populated area, that's where you would start playing with some of those things, or if you're running multiple locations. But that's your kind of main setting on here. Outside of that, you don't really need to do anything with placements. You don't need to do anything with these other options as far as the going off Advantage Plus or going to the original audience targeting. You just keep it with these and you should be good to go for your ads. That's going to be the main things that actually help you guys out. Now, once we get into the actual ad itself, there's going to be a lot of different options in here, but it's pretty, you just want to do a quick few and that's going to be it. If we ended up, a quick backtrack on that, to make sure that you're running for the right page, make sure that the page you're wanting to run it from is going to say your page right here, so your Facebook and Instagram pages are linked right here. This is going to show sponsored by these posts, and on top of that, when someone sees those ads, there's a good chance they're going to click back to see what the page is about. So you want to make sure they're getting to your page, not some random page or your personal page. So make sure that these are showing up as that. And then when you come down here and you actually want to start doing this, you won't have the create form if you go through the website. You will have to set up a quick form for this. When you come in here, it's just doing a quick intro. We can kind of tell people what the questions are about. You can add the quick questions on there. The only other one I add on here typically is going to be the contact phone number, because you want to be able to text them. Text is king right now as far as getting in contact with people. So once you have these things, you can kind of go from there. You can add other questions like, hey, what's your experience? What are your goals? Things like this. But the more questions you add on here, the less likely people are to fill it out. So you want to make sure that you're getting these filled out. On top of that, you go for maximum volume on this, and then you have to have a privacy section uploaded. This can typically just be linked to your website and you're good to go there, and then you're good as far as that goes. There's a little more in depth with that, but I want to make this quick and to the point as possible. So once we get done with that, you're good to go. You don't need to click on any of these extra settings. Those aren't important right now. Those are more for more advanced steps, or if you're running different kinds of software to go with it. Now, what we do want to do is actually walk you through how to do the quick setup real quick. So if you want to do an image or a video ad, you pick that here. You're just going to come here. I'm going to do a quick video ad or a quick picture ad. So we're just going to take this. It's going to show images you previously used. It's going to show your Instagram images. It's going to show your Facebook images. And you can also upload any images that may not be on your social media yet, or if you have a specific video or a picture you want to use for this in this area. I'm just going to steal one of our random ones real quick and kind of go in here. You're going to crop your images really quickly to make sure that they're going to be fitting the right way. If they don't fit, so say this is like a big 4-person picture, and they weren't going to fit in this, for instance, you can either crop it down or you can actually just replace it with a different image overall. And same thing with these ones. If it's not fitting well, you can typically go in and replace it with a different image so it shows a better view. Your image is super important. It's going to be the first thing people see. It's going to be what makes them stop and check out the rest of your ad overall. So just a good point to make sure you have those. After that, it's going to ask you to add the text. So I'm going to pause real quick and go pull some of our text. So pulling text in real quick to kind of show you guys where this lines up. It's going to follow this. So your primary text is going to be the main copy that people see either above or below the picture on your ad, depending on the position of it. Your headline is going to be what they see right next to the call to action button, and your call to action is going to be what they ask for. To kind of show you where that looks like on the ads, I'm going to show you where they line up with. So for our primary text, that's going to be this text right here above our actual creative. Our headline is going to go right here, or sometimes they put it right above it, depending on the setting. If it's on stories, it tends to go right above it. And this is our call to action right here. And if you guys are ever wanting to see good to copy or just pull from it, you can always steal our ad copy. I typically only run our best copy for this school right here. So you'll just be under Gracie Humaita Columbia. You can go to the About section. You can hit Page Transfer. You can hit See All, and you'll go to Ads Library, and you can see all the ads we're running at any time. And feel free to steal our ads copy. It tends to be what's working best in the industry right now and for our area. To be fair, we're more of a hobbyist school in Columbia, Missouri, but it still tends to translate pretty well if you're just going for broad targeting on your ads or just wanting to kind of show off a new class. But anyways, so we're pulling all that information in here and what this looks like. So I'm just going to populate our copy really quickly. That goes in right there. The box expands. For headline, I always go with, you want to tell people exactly what you're offering. So we do free jiu-jitsu trial. If you're doing a certain amount of time, you can build that in. There's going to be like a free 7-day jiu-jitsu trial, a free week jiu-jitsu trial. You can add the actual kind of holiday or whatever the seasonal on there. So you have like a summer free 7-day jiu-jitsu trial, and those tend to work out better. But I'm just keeping it pretty simple to the point for this one. And then for our call to action, I always find that learn more works out best because it's not the pressure of hitting sign up. You're just learning more about it, and people are more likely to click on that. And that tends to be across all industries where learn more works a little bit better. But once we see that, we'll be able to see our ad over here on the right and kind of the different areas it will look like. And these different areas, it'll show up in the different placements. But that will be our quick preview of our ad. From here, we would just hit publish. I don't have this account actually set up to do so. So you just hit publish and be good to go, and it'll be up and going pretty quickly. If you haven't had a payment method set up either, it's going to ask you for that before it goes out. It doesn't let you rack up a bill and then have to go back and pay it later. And make sure you have a card on file. So you just add that there, and that'll be under payment method, and that'll be how you pay for your stuff going forward. Also, if you run it through the website, this is where you would come in and set up your metapixel. You'd attach it and attach the event to make sure that it's feeding data back to Facebook as a whole, so you can kind of see those different aspects of it. Outside of that, once you have this set up, you're good to go. Now, say if you want to create multiple ads under this, you can come under here and you can go to duplicate. That's what I do, and I just switch out either an image or the copy and do one of those things at a time, and you're good to go there. So you can kind of just come in here. It's going to automatically do it, and then you just kind of rename them, and I can come in here and see all the same exact settings. And I would just come in here and either adjust the picture and trash that and change that out, or adjust the copy and you do under that under the same spot. You can run as many ads as you want. I typically want to run more than 500 per ad set, just so you can kind of make sure and track the data. Now, if you want to come in here and actually see how to turn them off, say we hit publish on that, it goes through. You just exit out of this, and then you're going to be able to see this at the ads level. So if you wanted to turn the entire campaign off, you hit it here. If you wanted to see the ad set level, you would come in here and turn it off, so it's going to turn off all the ads. If you want to come on and turn off individual ads, you just come in here and pick which one you want to turn off, and you'll be able to turn them off and on from there. This is also where you can come in if you just want to go straight to editing at that level. I just come over here and edit this, and I'd be able to pull up exactly that and start going into it again. And same thing at the ad set level. Say I want to come in here and wanted to change out the radius on the school, so I want to shrink down the area that the ads are being shown to. I would just come in here under the ad set level, drop down to under location settings, so it's going to be all the way at the bottom here. I would just hit this again, and I would change this up to 20. I would keep that there, and then you just have to publish again. Now, that is a quick and dirty walkthrough of what it looks like to kind of set up your ads. Again, if you want to go from boosted post ads, this is the probably best way to kind of set up and go from here. It does become a game of playing around and figuring out what works good, but this would be a whole other hour-long video of me going through here and kind of showing you what all the numbers mean, what to look for improvements, and all kinds of other things. But this is going to be good enough for a lot of you, and especially if you're wanting to throw a couple $100 at it a month, this is probably your best way to go about it instead of having to have someone or having to pay someone to go in there and do it for you. So that way you save a little money, you can still get your ads out there, and you're still getting the most out of them. Now, that's about all I got for here. I'm going to cut the video here, so it's not too much longer. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to kind of respond to those things in the group or on the channel. So just ask me, and I'll kind of make some follow-ups on that. Next video is going to be a pixel walkthrough, and then I'll do a more in-depth walkthrough if you guys like this on how I set up a full campaign, how I run a couple $1,000s a month into an ads campaign, so you can see what that looks like. But again, stopping it here. Thank you for your time. Talk to you guys soon.